The Miracle. After Katie saved my arm, I started seeing her regularly for energy work. I found that her treatments complemented Martin's work with me. It seemed that my energy would go up each time I understood something Martin was trying to teach me, and also that the work Katie did to raise my energy would help me get where Martin was trying to lead me. With Martin, I had to work. With Katie, I could lie on her table and go to sleep. It didn't matter how well rested I was. When I met with Katie, I always fell asleep. Often I thought I was awake because my mind was active, but I would hear snoring in the room, which of course turned out to be mine. Now and then after a session, Katie would look at me and tell me to be careful driving home. She'd say that they did some really deep work and I had green circles under my eyes. I would think, oh sure, something a clairvoyant can see. After one of these times, I was driving home and glanced in the rearview mirror and was shocked to see that I had green circles under my eyes. Another time I got home and Deb said, "Honey, you have green circles under your eyes." In any case, Katie says she doesn't do the healing or the energy work, that she just holds the vibrations high enough so that spiritual beings can come in and do it. Whatever. Katie has big medicine. One day when we had finished a session, I was sitting talking with Katie for a few minutes before leaving. It was about 2:30 on a cloudless July afternoon. I was sitting on a sofa with my back to her north-facing living room window. There were no lights on in the house, since there was plenty of light coming in through the windows. Now I've forgotten what Katie was saying when the light suddenly dimmed. Although I was listening to what she said, I had to turn and look outside to see what had happened. In less time than it took to turn my head, my mind offered me an image to explain it. The thought was that while I had been inside, the wind had come up and a cloud had been blown across the sun with such speed that the light was instantly dimmed. So I looked out the window for evidence to confirm this idea. Out in Katie's yard, the grass shone bright green in the strong sunlight. Tree branches and leaves cast shadows with sharp outlines, as did the white picket fence. Clearly, the sunlight was unobstructed. Not only that, there was no wind at all. The leaves were motionless. The only sound was of distant traffic. I could not think of another explanation for what I had just experienced. The light dropped significantly. As I turned back, Katie said, "Did you see that?" And I said, do you mean the light? And she said, "Yes, they did that for our benefit." Now, at that moment, I realized that because I did not have an explanation, as I turned back to face Katie, I dismissed the whole incident from my mind. I was stunned. You know, what I had just seen, I would have to call a miracle, which is a word that means a phenomenon we can't explain. More than that, what really amazed me was that I had just forgotten the whole experience when it didn't match my explanation and I couldn't think of another one. I would have remembered nothing 5 minutes later, 5 seconds later, if Katie hadn't drawn my attention back to it. And I'm supposed to be a scientist. I'm a biologist, right? A trained observer. So this was incredible. I had thought that I was an excellent observer without filters. Kind of an eye-opener. It made me wonder how many miracles do we witness and then forget because they don't fit our understanding. I read somewhere that when Columbus' ships arrived in the West Indies, there was a tribe who couldn't see them. They were at anchor in the bay, but the people couldn't see them. And a medicine man who could see the ships had to teach his tribe members how to see the ships that were anchored right there because they were totally out of their experience.